Hey guys, mahalo everyone, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here. Welcome to my YouTube channel with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we have part 7 of my video series for the game called the X Factor. This is where we cover particular EX weapons we have yet to see on the global version of the game. I give my thoughts on the EX weapon and whether or not these characters within the global version of the game can still properly function even without them. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and cover the EX weapons for Celeste, Rem, and Ace. So before watching this series, some things to remember, especially if you are a newer player to Opera Omnia. EX weapons themselves are essentially above 35 CP weapons that grant a character 70 CP when they're not max limit broken, and if you do max limit break and fully level them, they grant a total of 80 CP. Now, EX abilities do have a recast speed ranging from slow to fast, and again, like I said, the video series is intended to show off these amazing weapons and also help newer players and free-to-play players understand if these characters can still be pretty useful even without the EX weapons. And the only reason why I mentioned this is because EX weapons, out of all of the 5-star base weapons, have the lowest drop rate of all of the 5-star base weapons. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with Celeste, Final Fantasy VI's Magic Knight. Her EX weapon is called Stone Blade that grants her the EX ability Spinning Edge, which is a 5-hit non-elemental magic Brave plus HP attack with a whopping 500% Brave damage potency, which is crazy high considering that she is a tank. This also grants her the unique buff Rune Knight after usage to herself for 5 turns, and also a 30% max attack up for Celeste for 5 turns. Rune Knight, the unique buff itself, increases her magic attack by 10%, grants her Brave regen based on 80% of initial Brave, and HP regen based on 5% of her max HP. It does have a slightly slow recast speed. At 1 limit break, she's going to be getting a Brave damage increase to the EX ability. At 2, that Rune Knight unique buff is going to be improved, so now it gives her 20% magic attack up, Brave regen based on 100% of initial Brave, and HP regen based on 15% of her max HP. And at final 3 limit break, it raises the recast speed of the EX ability Spinning Edge. The verdict on this EX weapon is, so we all know that Celeste is a niche magic tank. So the way that she functions is she absorbs any incoming magic attacks after you use her runic blade. With that being said, with this EX weapon, she greatly benefits from it because she gets a high damaging ability. 500% is not a laughing matter. It's quite high. It also gives her an amazing unique buff and more survivability from that amazing unique buff. However, with that being said, there is a particular event that Global has yet to see that JP has called the Ultimate Ifrit Esper Trial, where we get a chance to level our particular Espers all the way to level 30. That particular one, once we get it, Celeste trivializes it. And even without her EX weapon, she still trivializes it. So here's my thoughts. If you decide to use Celeste beyond that, or if she is your waifu, then yeah, this is an amazing weapon to pull for. But beyond that, unfortunately, because of just the way that Celeste is designed, it's not really worth pulling for, because if you're not going to use her beyond that, it's kind of she's still kind of niche, and she doesn't really add too much to the game. So that is my thoughts on the EX weapon. But again, if you want to use her beyond the Ifrit Ultimate Trial, then go ahead and pull. And if she is your waifu, then go ahead and pull, because the most important thing in Opera Omnia is to enjoy your favorite character. Now, the first banner appearance is going to be the Celeste Lost Chapters banner, and this weapon has yet to repeat. It has yet to repeat on the JP version of the game. Again, this could change on the global version of the game, but if you decide to skip on it and pass on it when her Lost Chapters is released, it's going to be a while until we see it, since JP has yet to see it still. The second weapon we're going to go over is Type 0's Rem's EX weapon called Defender's Dagger, giving her the EX ability Siphon Delta, which is a 2-hit non-elemental magic AoE Brave plus HP attack that also deals 100% AoE HP damage to all targets, so it's not splashed or divided. It's full 100%, which is amazing. It also has a 300% Brave damage potency, which is quite powerful considering that she's more of a healer support unit. It also heals all the party members' HP based on the HP damage she deals, and and this caps out at 20% of the party's max HP. Any excess heals transfers to their Brave. It also grants her the unique buff called Siphon for 1 turn, and a 60% attack up to herself for 5 turns, and Siphon grants her a free skill usage, which is pretty cool. This ability has a low action delay and a slightly fast recast speed. At 1 limit break, it raises the Brave damage Siphon Delta deals. At 2, it increases the Brave damage dealt to a single target by 60%. And at 3, it raises the recast speed of the EX ability. The verdict on Rem is, so she's a bit of an underrated support unit, and the reason why I say this is because if you look at the global version of the game, right now Selphie and Katesith support-wise are kind of killing it. That's who everybody uses, and the reason why is because they're very simple to use, they're not very complicated, and Rem herself, because she has kind of a turn manipulation ability with her swap turns, she takes a little bit more advanced understanding of the mechanics of the game. However, if she is your type of a character where, hey, I want to learn the more advanced mechanics of the game, I want to play with shenanigans, I want turn manipulation, then she is a character worth pulling for this EX weapon, because as you can see, free ability usage, and also fast recast. What's not to love of this EX weapon? Now, the first time we see this weapon is going to be the upcoming Arc 2 Chapter 1 story banner, which not only features Rem's EX weapon, but we also get a new character on it in the form of 7 from Type 0, and then we get a repeat on Shadow. However, on the JP version of the game, this weapon has yet to repeat, so if you decide to skip on it, unfortunately, we have yet to see it unless they decide to change things in global. But overall, pretty good EX weapon for this character. The last character we're going to talk about for his EX weapon is going to be Ace from Type 0 with his EX weapon called Reaper's Tarot, giving him the EX ability Jackpot Shot, and now this is going to be a long one. So first of all, this is going to be a 6-hit non-elemental magic Brave plus HP attack that also overflows up to 150% of his max Brave. It also deals 50% HP splash damage to other targets, so it has that Renzo Kuken effect, since Squall was kind of like the first character to do that. It also has a 480% Brave damage potency. Not quite as high as Celeste's, but still 480%, that's pretty high. And it also increases his max Brave based on the number of cards. And the way Ace works, for a refresher for some of you that haven't really played with this character, is whenever he uses one of his abilities or even his standard abilities, you see these cards floating above his head that caps out at 3 cards. And the more cards he has, essentially his max Brave is increased. Now, this EX ability also grants him a particular colored card. Now, it is random buff, but these particular colors have either a unique buff or even some sort of a debuff that applies for 5 turns. So let's take a look at what these different colors do. If it's red, it's 40% attack up to the party, which is, hey, that's pretty cool, right? If it's black, it lowers all enemy speed. If it's blue, that gives Brave regen based on 40% of initial Brave, and HP regen based on 10% of max HP to the party. And if it's yellow, it's a 20% attack and max Brave up to the party. So that's pretty cool. I like that. It's very creative, it's very unique, and I like how Ace essentially has versatility with this EX ability. It does have a slightly slow recast speed, but despite the slightly slow recast speed, I mean, look at that. That's quite a lot for an EX ability. Now, taking a look at the limit breaks. At 1, Brave damage dealt is increased. At 2, the recast speed is sped up. And then at 3, it also increases Ace's attack by 10% and his max Brave by 50% as long as he's buffed, which he's going to be buffed more than likely if you decide to use his character. So my verdict on this EX weapon is, so first of all, I feel Ace, in the global version of the game, he's an underrated magic DPS. For quite some time now, even right now, Terra is kind of like, wow, she's so easy to use. She chants, she deals damage. She's like our DPS magic queen. But Ace is underrated, and with his EX having so much versatility and going for it, if you're an Ace main, or if you're even considering putting some, even just a little bit of investment into this character, this EX is a must. And I will let you guys know, without saying too much, that Ace did get a level 70 awakening as well as a rework on JP, and he's quite powerful. I'm just gonna leave it at that without spoiling too much. And without it, in the global version of the game, I will say that the character itself is a little bit subpar, but with it, I have one word: kaboom. This character, I mean, you've seen what I've described. It's a pretty crazy EX weapon. So the first appearance of this EX weapon is going to be the Deuce character event, which we should be seeing somewhat soon on the global version of the game. And if we want to wait for it to appear again, it does repeat on the Deuce Lost Chapters. Again, this could change on the global version of the game. We never know. We might see it on a summer banner. We might see it on like a limited time banner that JP never got. But if you want to know when it repeats, it is on the Deuce Lost Chapters banner. Alright guys, well, this is going to be concluding part 7 for the video series X Factor for Dissidia Opera Omnia. Hopefully this gives you guys some insight on these particular 3 EX weapons and whether or not you guys should be pulling. Overall, these weapons are pretty amazing, especially the ones for Ace and Rem. Celeste is pretty cool too, despite the fact that she's niche. But yeah, great EX weapons. I'm excited to see what else is going to be moving forward for the global version of the game. Once again, thank you for watching. This is 40 the Broadway saying stay tuned for the next one, and mahal everyone.